Hey, Drew.
Oh, hey.
Can you help us build a bike?
Sure, I can. So what are we building today?
Today we're going to unbox and assemble a Schwinn Tricycle. Tools needed for assembly include 4, 5, and 6 millimeter hex keys, a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver, a box cutter, cable cutter, or scissors, and an adjustable wrench.
Hey guys, this is Liz. She's gonna help me out today. Tricycles are easier to assemble with a friend.
Locate the zip strip tab at the top corner of the box. Pull the tab all the way across the box, then open the box top. If your box doesn't have a zip strip, use a flat screwdriver to open the box top. Remove the tricycle frame, rear drive subframe, wheels, fenders, handlebar, seat, and other component boxes from the box. Remove all straps and packaging material from the tricycle frame and components. Don't discard the packaging materials until the tricycle is assembled to ensure you don't accidentally throw away any required parts.
Inside your parts box is your owner's manual. Refer to this if you have any questions about assembly.
Place a piece of foam from the packaging on the floor under the front chainring, then stand the bike up straight. Next, we'll install the handlebar. Remove the plastic plug from the top of the fork steerer tube, then insert the stem quill into the steerer tube. Ensure the stem is inserted past the minimum insertion markings on the stem quill. Use a 6 millimeter hex key to tighten the stem bolt just enough to hold it securely in place. It will be fully tightened later. With a 5 millimeter hex key, loosen the stem faceplate bolts just enough to allow the handlebar to rotate. Rotate the handlebar into a suitable position. Then tighten the stem faceplate bolts evenly so the gap is even between the faceplate and the stem. Next, we'll install the seat post. Remove the plastic plug from the seat tube of the tricycle and open the quick release lever. Slide the seat post into the seat tube, ensuring it is inserted past the minimum insertion line marked on the seat post. Close the quick release lever. Locate the seat head on the underside of the seat and slide it over the seat post until it is fully engaged. Evenly tighten the nuts at both ends of the seat head bolt to secure the seat to the seat post. With the help of an assistant, lift the tricycle frame, turn it upside down, then set it down so it rests on the handlebar ends and the seat.
Thanks, Liz. Next, we'll be installing our front fender. Inside your box, you'll find a hardware kit. Refer to the back for labels about the pieces we'll be using.
Slide the fender into place, then secure the fender struts to the fork dropout with fender bolts. Use a screwdriver to tighten the bolts. Insert a fender bolt through the fender bracket and thread it into the fork crown, then secure it with a screwdriver. Slide the rubber cover off the brake cable carrier. Squeeze the brake arms together with one hand, using the other hand to disengage the brake cable from the slotted cable stop on the brake arm. Next, we'll install the front wheel. Loosen both axle nuts at both ends of the axle and slide the tabbed washers out. Place the wheel into the fork dropouts, ensuring the tabbed washers are on the outside of both dropouts. Rotate the tabbed washer so the tab engages the hole in the fork dropout, then finger tighten the nut. Repeat the process on the other side of the axle. Tighten both axle nuts with an adjustable wrench. The axle nuts should be very tight. Close the front brake by inserting the cable fitting into the slotted carrier on the brake. Then slide the rubber seal over the cable fitting. Spin the front wheel to ensure the tire doesn't rub on the fender or brakes. Next, we'll install the rear drive subframe. Loosen and remove the 4 bolts at the rear of the mainframe. Slide the rear drive subframe over the mainframe until the holes in both components are aligned. Verify the secondary chain sprockets are in alignment. Reinstall the 4 bolts from the inside of the frame. Install washers and nuts on each of the 4 bolts. They only need to be finger tight at this point.
Now we're going to install our secondary chain. To do this, we need our quick link.
Slide the rear drive subframe all the way forward to ease installation of the chain. Lower the secondary chain into the frame ahead of the front gear, then wrap the chain back over the front gear. Thread the hanging section of the chain back around the rear axle, but don't put it onto the gear yet. Push one side of the quick link onto one end of the secondary chain, then push the second side of the quick link over the opposite side of the other end of the chain. Bring the 2 ends of the chain together and snap both sides of the quick link together, then pull the chain taut. Inspect the quick link to verify both pins are fully engaged in the plates. Place the secondary chain over the rear drive gear. The secondary chain should be tensioned so it's taut, not loose. While an assistant pulls the rear drive subframe assembly back to tension the secondary chain and holds the assembly in alignment, use an adjustable wrench to tighten the 4 bolts securing it to the mainframe. These bolts should be very tight. Next, we'll install the rear wheels. Locate the side of the wheel with a flat section that matches the flat section on the rear drive axle. That side of the wheel goes onto the axle first. Align the flat sections on the hub and axle, then slide the wheel onto the axle until it stops. Locate the axle nuts, washers, and plastic caps and remove them from the packaging. Slide one washer over the axle end, then thread the lock nut on and tighten it with a wrench. It should be very tight. Push the plastic cap onto the lock nut. Install the second rear wheel using the same process. With the help of an assistant, turn the tricycle over. Next, we'll assemble the wire basket. Fold out the front panel, then fold up the rear panel and fold the side panels out. Raise the front panel and align it with the sleeves on the side panels, then fully insert the locking pins through the sleeves on both front corners of the basket. Install a red rear reflector on one rear fender. Place the reflector over the fender, then secure it with a nut on the underside of the fender. Tighten the nut with an adjustable wrench. Lay the wire basket on its side. Then align the slots on the fender tabs with the slots on the wire basket frame. The reflector should face away from the tricycle. From the inside of the basket, insert a screw through each of the 3 basket slots and fender braces. Place a washer and nut on each bolt and tighten the bolts with a screwdriver and adjustable wrench. Repeat the process with the other rear fender. Once both fenders are installed, lift the basket and place it over the rear of the tricycle. Align the slots on the basket with the threaded holes in the tricycle frame. Place a washer over each of the 4 screws, then install and tighten the screws with a screwdriver. Unfold the basket cover and place it into the middle of the basket. Fold the side pockets out over each side wall of the basket.
Pedals are side specific, a right and a left. Just check the sticker. The right side has the chain and the gear. Always thread in the direction of the front wheel.
Locate the right pedal and insert it into the right side crank arm. Thread it toward the front wheel. Use a 6mm hex wrench to tighten the pedal. Repeat the process on the left side. Be sure to thread the pedal toward the front wheel. Both pedals should be very tight. Slide the bell into position on the left side of the handlebar and use a screwdriver to secure the bolt. Rotate the front reflector so it points straight forward, then tighten the bolt to secure it. Ensure the wheel reflectors are snug by pulling them toward the rim. Use a 5mm hex key to verify the bolts securing the handlebar to the stem are tight. Align the stem with the frame and front wheel, then use a 6mm hex key to tighten the bolt securing the stem to the fork. Loosen the seat post binder bolt and raise the seat to about hip level. Then tighten the binder bolt. At the correct seat height, your knee will have a slight bend in it when you're at the bottom of the pedal stroke. Straddle the front wheel and try to twist the handlebar side to side to ensure it doesn't twist. Attempt to roll the handlebar back and forth to make sure it doesn't move. Vigorously rock and twist the saddle back and forth to ensure it doesn't move while you're riding. Verify that the brakes work by rolling the trike back and forth, then squeezing the brake levers and/or applying the coaster brake to make sure they grip. Check to ensure the brake levers don't pull back too far. There should be a gap between the lever and grip with the brakes applied. Use the adjustable wrench to verify the front wheel axle nuts are tight. When properly tightened, the wrench will leave an imprint on your hand. Inflate the tires to the manufacturer's recommended pressure, which is marked on the tire's sidewall.
Thanks for your help, Liz. And that's that. Grab your helmet and let's
Thanks,
roll.
Drew. Have a great ride.
See ya.
See you, Drew.